Well, before we get into, the general news, we have a little personal news this morning. I have had my 10th grandchild come into this world last night. Little, my sons, like all Kirks, are only capable of making more boys. And so little Andrew came into the world last night. And so, you know, I'm trying to do my bit, or my kids are continuing to do their bit to keep the world populated. In the meantime, everybody seems like they're taking a bit of a breather right now after this major run up. And we had let's call it a little bigger breather from Tesla this morning. Last time I checked, down 10. I didn't expect it to go down this much, and I think it's going to be done. You've heard me say already that I'm planning to, as soon as my money gets transferred, I'm planning to buy some more Tesla. So I'm not sad right now, but I do, I want to look out for you guys as well in case you've been trading in and out. Anyway, my expectations would be that this reduction in price right now is probably not going to hang around for long. But I think we'll be in a range. I don't think we're going to go crazy until we get to the next kind of some kind of a catalyst. But Tesla, Al Root, who over there at Barron's, he always has some interesting things to say. And I think he summarized things very well this morning. He says Tesla stock was down in early Thursday trading. Post-election volatility is decreasing. Shares of the electric vehicle maker were down 0.5. They're down more now. S&P 500 futures had ticked up 0.1. Actually, I think maybe all the markets are down right now. Just let me check for fun. Yeah, all of them are down, but not much, just a little bit. Tesla now down 1166. See, I was already wrong. It went down more than 10. The small move comes despite a big target price bump. Jefferies analyst Philippe Houtchois raised his price target for shares to $300 from $195. Well, of course, we're way above 300, but that price target increase, pretty dramatic. He kept his hold rating on the stock. He even suggested that Tesla management use the recent rally in Tesla stocks to raise equity. I don't know. They got an awful lot of money in the bank right now. What do they need more equity? I think they're probably good. Anyway, Tesla generates positive free cash flow. Wall Street projects free cash flow of $2.8 billion in 2024 and $5.4 billion in 2025, and I think it'll be higher than that. Free cash flow comes after investment spending, and Tesla is expected to spend $11.5 billion on plants and equipment in 2024. An equity raise doesn't feel necessary at this point, Al Root seems to feel. A target price bump of $105 or 54% is significant, and investors might expect the stock to make a bigger reaction to that kind of a price bump. Tesla shares, however, they've been up $80 or 31% just since November 5, and a lot more than that over the course of a few weeks prior to that. The rally took Tesla's stock market value north of $1 trillion and Tesla's stock price beyond current Wall Street targets. The average analyst price target on Tesla shares aggregated by FactSet's at 242, but that's up from 235 since the election. There's a lot of more price adjustments, I think, going to be coming. To this point, Wall Street analysts have lagged behind investors in assessing the impact of the election on Tesla's stock. I agree with that 100%. Thursday's initial drop came after Tesla's stock rose by 0.5% on Wednesday, and that was, had probably nothing to do with Tesla's, with Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy being set up to head the Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE. It was the smallest move since the election. Tesla has risen 6 days and fallen once since November 5. Yeah, I think that the overall situation with Elon at the White House is having a massive impact. I think it's probably all of the 80 to 100 points that we're looking at it has to do with Elon's new positions. But we knew it was going to happen, so yesterday was not. I don't think the news had much to do with it. Tesla likely is going to consolidate recent gains as analysts decide whether to increase earnings estimates to justify further price target hikes. Tesla's spread between average Wall Street price target of 237 versus the price 329 is now at its highest level since October 2021. What was going on in October 2021? Oh, yeah, we were going crazy like this. at 101 times average Wall Street full year 25 earnings per share, average normal forward PE is 55. Tesla's valuation leaves little room for error, even with Elon having a friend in the White House. Tesla may pause here until the 2025 first half launch of the new $25,000 to $30,000 vehicle, likely a Model 3 version hatchback, or until Tesla can show they have achieved unsupervised autonomy at 99.99% efficiency. Actually, I'm very sorry. That last paragraph that I just said about all those potentials, that's all from Gary Black. That was Gary Black speaking there somehow. I didn't get him at the top of that conversation. All right, a few comments this morning about, this is one about something I've been talking about for a very long time. This says, this is from a friend of a friend. Okay. I don't even have the name because the name wasn't mentioned. It says, they say, this friend of a friend says, I have had two very conservative friends, neighbors, both liked Tesla, but didn't really consider as an option before. The night after the election, both asked me what they needed to do to get one. One is coming over tonight to start the process. They both mentioned Elon saved the country. Seriously, this will be 5 and maybe 6 Teslas now on his street. Only 7 people left that don't have it. They're both aware that the incentives might go away and they want it now. There's another thing to take into consideration: fourth quarter sales. Not only are we going to see Republicans and other people that haven't looked at Tesla before, people that are just seeing Elon Musk really for the first time in a new light, making decisions, thinking about what is really Tesla all about, potentially coming into the stocks as well. But we're also, the incentives might go away next year. And so people are going to go, I think I need to buy now. And of course, if they're looking at Model 3, it's already had its changes. It's already amazing. If they're looking at Cybertrucks, I mean, I think you get it. All right, this is from Squawk. Listen to this now. I look at it as a champion lion and a champion cheetah coming together. This is Tom Barak, says of Elon Musk's political appointment. Elon is probably the most important innovator, creator, manufacturer, product creator. He has single-handedly done more than NASA could do in 20 years. So that is just one more piece of that pie I'm talking about, where Elon is coming more and more into prominence and will drive personally, just his personal presence everywhere is going to drive sales of vehicles and stock. Holmar's catalog, I'm going to leave out the cursing. He says, this video I'm going to post tomorrow is kind of insane. Commuting from Apple Park to Cupertino in downtown San Francisco without ever touching the steering wheel or the pedals once. This is such an amazing, I'm changing it, life changer for people who do this drive twice a day. And then this in more detail from Dirty Tesla. These are both guys that are always testing, if you don't know that. From my Model Y feedback, highway is amazing and almost seems psychic. It's as good. It is so good in moving through traffic, changing lanes to avoid vehicles merging, etc. Speed profiles off highway are also amazing. Areas without speed profiles are still And FSD seems to get stuck at the current speed. Meanwhile, I'll pass a new speed limit sign, higher or lower, and FSD just simply sticks to whatever speed it was already going without registering the new sign. Cybertruck FSD is really goofy, although it can do 90% of the drives pretty much perfectly. Braking is often way too late, and emergency braking has kicked in a few times, which is scary and harsh. We also need new school zones, emergency vehicles, no turn on red, etc. Please don't forget original FSD owners, even those that have sold their hardware 2.5/3 cars and bought a new Tesla. You know who they are, and they supported Tesla and the FSD mission from a long time ago. They need to get their new stuff. They need an upgrade. Maybe. They're probably going to need an upgrade. I believe that. I'll end with this compliment, though. He says, this software is one of the most amazing products I've had the pleasure of using. The added safety and convenience are off the charts. I used to dread my commute, no longer. All right, this is Randy Kirk. Please hit like. Okay. If you haven't subscribed yet, I don't understand why, but you need to subscribe, and then you need to use the notify button, because this the stuff I got coming up, I've got AJ with a two-parter, it turns out, a two-parter. He goes into the nitty-gritty of how he's come up to his price targets, how he's come up to his revenue targets, how he's broken it down between all the different categories of Tesla. If you're really into it and you want to know the details, I give this broad number, and then AJ is giving these details, and it's amazing. It's fascinating. Two-parter coming up. Cern Basher also with a two-parter this weekend. Yeah, you've got, I think there's more. Oh, well, the regular Bradford Ferguson tonight and Larry tomorrow. So much stuff. So hit notify so you don't miss any of that. Oh, you need to start buying up these Cybertruck bottle openers so that I know how many I need to order, because I'm not sure right now. Okay, so let's see here. This is from Barron's. Barron says, the numbers, initial jobless claims fell by 4,000. So fewer people getting laid off or are unemployed, to 217,000 this week. Is the lowest level of claims since May. Economists polled by the Wall Street Journal had estimated would fall, but only by 1,000. Last week's claims were unrevised at the increase of 3,000 to 221. So it went up a little that last week, down a little this week. So claims have fallen for 4 out of the last 5 weeks. That's pretty good news, actually, and would suggest that maybe the Fed doesn't need to keep cutting. We'll see more about that in a minute. Key details: the number of new claims based on actual filings before seasonal adjustments jumped by 16,735, but there were after seasonal adjustment, that's where it came out to a drop of 3,000. The number of people already collecting unemployment benefits in the week of November 2 fell by 11,000 to 1.87 million. So the continuing thing, that's still good too. And they say their analysis, companies may not be hiring at the same pace as early in the year, but they're also not firing. Richmond Fed President Tom Barkin said earlier this week that companies remember the pain of not having enough workers during the pandemic, and employers tell him that they don't want to get caught short again. Looking ahead, Fed policy is aiming at supporting the economy and the job market before a recession shapes up. There is no cause for radical monetary easing in today's figures or in any labor market indicator for that matter. They're just not seeing a reason for panic. I would agree there's no reason for panic. From Barron's this morning, we got the wholesale inflation, the PPI, came in as expected in October, keeping the Federal Reserve on track to cut interest rates in December. Officials will still get a look at November jobs and inflation data before they gather their monetary policy decision of 2024. The Bureau of Labor Stats said on Thursday that the Producer Price Index increased as expected by 0.2% last month. That compares with a rise of 0.1% in the PPI in September. The October rise pushed the overall year rise in the measure of wholesale prices to 2.4 from 1.9 a month earlier. But the core PPI, which excludes food and energy, rose 0.3 in October, exceeding the 0.2 change the previous month. The year-over-year gain was 3.1 compared with 2.8 in the 12 months through September. So once again, what we're looking at here is this kind of no man's land where probably the Fed doesn't need to ease, but I think they will continue to. I think there's no likelihood right now that they're not going to ease in December, but maybe there will be a pause on the next meeting, which I'm not sure if it's near the end of January or end of February. It might be early in February. But overall, I think things look pretty good. If we're not already in a recession, whatever happens, I think going forward, there's a lot of optimism out there. There's optimism on so many different levels, especially among people who've just had their 10th grandchild. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at the market. Look and see, now Tesla's down 12 to 318.20. I would anticipate that this will recover later in the day. That's just me. I could be completely wrong. I don't want it to, but it probably will. The Dow is down 19 right now. The NASDAQ down 50. S&P down 9. We've got the Magnificent 7 basically mixed, half up, half down, if that can be possible. And we've got all of the Cathie Woods except for one down this morning. So that's pretty interesting because I think let me go back real quick for those. I have those people that want to hear the percentages. We have got the Dow down 0.02, NASDAQ down 0.2, and S&P down 0.11 with Tesla down 3.49. Okay, now let's go look at the bonds because the bonds are actually also, the yields are down. Thank goodness, finally, 3.3 basis points to 4.42 on the 10-year. The 2-year is down a little also, 1.7 at 4.267. And then the 3-month down less, only down 0.5 of a basis point. The 2-month down 1.6 basis points. So they continue to be, about that 10 basis point difference with the 10-year. Okay, let's go look at oil. We've got the oils. You got oil bouncing up just a tad this morning. So back up to 69 for Texas Intermediate and 73 for Brent. Natural gas pulled back after being over $3, back down to $2.95, down 1.14 this morning. Gold slipping only $12, but still slipping at 2,574. So it's backed off quite a bit from its all-time high. And silver also, which was at 34, down again this morning, down to 30.445. Copper, 0.02% down this morning at $4.08. The dollar is up this morning. It says that the headline is "Dollar Marches On. The Trump Trade Momentum is Undimmed." So the dollar's up against the yen, 0.28, and up against the euro, 0.06. So not very large gains this morning. Bitcoin sliding down back under 80, back under 90 at 80, just almost 89, 88,931, down 1631 this morning. So way off of its recent big increase to, I think it was as high as 94. I think it was as high as 94, back down to 89. Okay, well, there you go. As mentioned, lots of stuff coming up. So you want to be paying attention to all these different outstanding programs that are going to be coming. I've already recorded the first one from AJ. That'll be on tonight at 8 o'clock, roughly California time. I've switched that tonight. Maybe that's not the best thing to do, but at least for now, it's working. And of course, tonight, Bradford Ferguson, which will be out around 5 o'clock California time before Thursday night football. So let's see here. What do I got from last night? Brian White. We'll put the Brian White video up right here. As always, super interesting stuff from Brian, and I'll put that card up there for you to go check it out if you got a few minutes. All right, I think that's all, except remember, buy your Cybertruck bottle openers now because you don't want to forget and get behind on your Christmas gift plans. That's all I got for you right now. It's been great talking.